I'm Anthony from Learning to Play the Guitar. In this video I'm going to show you how to play the song One Word by the Australian band The Baby Animals. This song was released as a single from their debut album in 1992 and reached number 15 on the Australian ARIA charts, and the album itself was 6 times platinum and was number 1 for 6 weeks. The song was written by the singer and rhythm guitar player in the band Suze DiMarchi, and it features Dave Leslie on guitar playing a great finger-picking intro played on an Ovation acoustic guitar through a Marshall amp. Plus there's some slide guitar playing in the solo, which makes it really interesting too. So the intro of this song is actually recorded on an Ovation acoustic through a Marshall amp to give you that sort of hybrid acoustic distorted guitar sound. So I have also played the intro on an acoustic guitar. So one thing about this tune is it's down tuned a half step. So the tuning here will be D sharp, G sharp, C sharp, F sharp, A sharp, D sharp. So I've watched some live videos on how Dave Leslie plays his intro, and it appears he is finger picking his way through it, and that's the way I would like to play it myself too. So basically I'm going to be using my thumb, index, middle and ring finger a little bit to play some parts here, and it's based around the idea of an A bass note droning along while we play some chords on top. So the very first thing we have here is an A power chord with fingers on fret 7, fret 9 and little finger on fret 10 on the D, G, B strings with an open A string in the bass. And I'm going to go thumb, thumb, index, middle. So first off we have 0, 7, 9, 10, slide up to 12, 13, bit of an expression there with a bass note in front of that. Then we're going to go back to 9 and 8 there, so little finger comes off and this guy is involved on fret 8 on the B string. Little finger back in on the 10. So bar 1, thumb, thumb, index, middle, bass note, 12, 13, bass note, 98, bass note, 9 and a 10. Then the second bar is a little pattern which he reuses throughout the intro, which is a G sus4 chord. So 3, 3 with my first finger here on the bottom 2 strings, 5, 5 in the middle, and open A again. And then we're going to basically thumb, index, middle, ring, arpeggio, thumb will come down to the number 5 on the D string. That is my middle finger picking up on the 3, index on the 5. So we have this little pattern, and then we slide that up 2 frets to play an A sus4, so same shape, but 5s and 7s in the tab there. So again, slide. So that sound. And then the next part of the intro is an F major 9 chord, so it doesn't have the 3rd, but it's basically I'm going to bar at fret 3, stick my 3rd and little finger on the 2 5s on the G, B strings, 4-note arpeggio. So thumb, index, middle, ring, going through those 4 notes. Then we're pedaling on an F note for a little bit. The 3, 3, 5, 5, 3, double 5. 5, so that bit's a little bit slower because it's 8ths versus 16ths, so we have, then we jump back up to fret 5. This is a similar shape to the first thing we played, but at fret 5 it becomes like a G thing, but we're also going to bar behind play here, so it's a G, add 9 I suppose, G with an A note in it. Anyway, we're going to go thumb, index, middle, ring, 5, 7, 8, 5, 5, 8, 7. And then we're adding this note in here, which turns it into an E minor 7 of sorts, which is that. Sorry, the thumb moves down there onto the 5 G note. So the first half of the intro here, nice and slow. And take it up. The F thing. G thing, add the E note in. So that thing goes around twice and it's fairly quick, which is why it's fairly fiddly. So the next part, so we're going to have the open A string, 9, 10, 7 on the bottom, which is barred by this finger here. So that's how you can do it, or you could drop that down. But for me, the hardest bit about this part is just the finger picking, making sure it's really smooth and consistent, more than the chord shapes. So we have that little pattern there, all around the same shape. Then we jump back down to our friends again from the G sus4 department we had earlier on, with the 3s and the 5s, and the A sus4. And he repeats that probably 4 times with a little rhythmic variation, but it's very similar. So the second version, you can sort of mix and match between the two. When he's live, he's not always consistent with what he does here anyway. He sort of changes it around a little bit. But the second version is basically with an extra note in it when we're back to the A thing, with that extra little 0, 10, 9 versus 0, 10, then does that twice, susses again. So that goes around a couple of times. The final one from the A, here's the bottom line, and the 0, 5, 3 sus, and a bump A. And then you're into the hard rock part. So after the intro with the acoustic guitar, we get into the hard rock section based around the following chords. We have a D power chord there, then we've got an A major chord, then we have a little A power chord going to an E5 done this way, a little bit of an A, and then a D, and then a second D, which makes this wall of sound riff a bit like something the Who might do actually. So we've got A, E, A, D, D, and again A, or even AC/DC, A, E, A, D, A. That goes round and round 4 times. So into the verse, we have a clean sound now. Overdrive is off. We start with an A chord, got an open E string, and then a D sus2, then an A again, and then got A sus2, and the second part of that is more or less the same, but A, E string, D sus2, A sus2, finger coming off the bottom. Then we go into the maybe a pre-chorus, overdrive comes back on. Then we've got an A, D, D, power chord, D, A, G, AC/DC style. I'm not really playing that string, but I've got the double fingers down the bottom. B minor, little open strum sounds like this to me. A, G again, and E. It's sort of E or E power chord based. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then into the chorus. So the chorus again has similar chords to the intro and the verse. A, D, G stuff. It's a little bit like AC/DC light, if that's such a thing. So we have, or poppy AC/DC. We've got a big A chord, another A, D, G, D, G, D, A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, A, D, 2, 3, 4, G, D, G, D. So very AC/DC-ish with the old DGs in there, like Highway to Hell or something. So that loops around and goes back to the verse. In the second chorus, we actually go to the solo with an E, and then again more 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So then under the solo, there's 3 chords A, E, and D, played like this, simple but effective. A, E, D. It goes round and around. A, E, D. A bunch of them. A, E, D. Like so, till we get to the bridge. So in the bridge we go a bit clean again. I've taken the overdrive off my guitar again. We have D sus2, A major, B minor, E major, D sus2 again, A major, then an F sharp minor add 4, which basically means I'm going to do this. 2, 4, 2, I use my thumb for the bass note with some open B, E strings. Going to an E. And then you got E going back to the final chorus. So the final chorus is basically the same as the other one, just repeats twice. At the very end of it, we have a bit of an AC/DC DG off thing happening, round and round. Final chorus, let's just do the whole thing, it makes more sense. Add the overdrive back on. So we've got the big A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, A, D, 2, 3, G, G, D, G, D, A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, A, D, 2, 3, D, G, D, G, D, G, D, G, D, G, D, G, A. Yeah. So there's little things you can hear the D is sort of chopped short there, but it's pretty simple stuff. Good old rock and roll chords there. So that's all the rhythm guitar parts. In the song, there's a very short 8-bar solo. It's chopped into 2 halves, one which is played with the fingers and the second half played with a slide. So the first half of the solo is based around the A major and the E major pentatonic scales. Has a very major sound to it, of course, being a major pentatonic thing. So starting off, we've got a bendy 12, a little slide down, and then on the first string we're going to hit the 14, bending into a G sharp. So hitting a 14. And the 14, 12, 14s there, sort of very E majory, back to the bendy 12, C sharp, and sliding into the 14, and a 12 on the end there, bit of vibrato. So that's pretty simple stuff really. The second part is the slide, of course. So apologies in advance here for my slide playing. This guitar is not really set up for slide at all, but I managed to sort of make it work in the video, hopefully decent enough so you can work out how to play the part. So the whole solo here is sort of A major based, I'll just say that as we move along. So we're going to slide into fret 7. Yep, 14s again, other strings, down to the 9s. E sort of chord, chromatic, to a D thing, and little sliding around there. Sorry, the action is very low on this guitar. 6s, sort of to an A2 there. Then we have this 6th lick sort of blues thing, sliding all the way up to 13 and going down 12s, 11s to a 10. So sort of E down to a D thing. So that's all the solo stuff. Subscribe to the Learning to Play the Guitar YouTube channel for more lessons, and don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications when I upload a new video. You can also check out my books and more lessons at my website learningtoplaytheguitar.net. Thanks for watching and keep practicing.